What's going on, y'all? It's Greg. Greg said it. Back with the postseason edition. Don't that sound good? Postseason. We still playing. Portals open, wide open. Got the high school guys. Got a lot of movement. And it's almost like the crypto market. Shout out to people who know anything about crypto. I hope y'all do. Do I need to do some videos about that? Let me know if I need to do some videos about some crypto. I ain't an expert, but I'm Greg said. I can tell y'all some stuff. Might be some stuff you need to know. Do you know about crypto? Do you know about XRP? What y'all know? Anyway, it's like the market. It reminds me of the last couple of days, the market been doing some stuff. And to the novice, you be like, what is going on? Panic, panic. But to the experts, like, oh yeah, I see what's going on. Do y'all see what's going on with Colorado? And I heard people say it's going to be a brand new team. What does that mean? And sure enough, and it's like, oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Got a whole brand new team. A lot of players who just got here leaving out. Probably more so than ever because these players not necessarily seniors. And some of the players last year hung around, like the Travis Jays, the Gants, and all of them. But we're looking at people come in and out. We saw people like Baby T.O. go out. Tyler Johnson, which people trying to figure out why he not playing. We even saw Hayes. That was a surprise. We see a couple of linemen. It was the Owens, I think. We got some lines coming. It was Kirkland. I don't think we've seen Owens yet, Flapjack. But we know we got a lot of big boys coming in that's young. And we know it's a lot of boys that's hitting that portal. There's people like kind of Henry coming to Colorado. They coming on a visit. Is that what's making room? Is it the pressure on the players? Or is the coaches saying, hey, you need to go ahead and get going because things are happening? We see Jeremiah Brown jumped on in there. We see there's a lot of people but moving, and it's like maybe people say, I thought we weren't going to do this all over again this year. Why is everybody leaving? Is that a good thing? And it sounds totally different because last year, like, oh, it was on fire. They only went 4-8. Oh, Coach Prime's going to be gone. Oh, Louis bag. And this year is like, what you going to really say? They 9-3 going to bowl game. They could win that. But what's the jokes? But you do see the quality, man. And I'm going to tell y'all something that I noticed and that I knew. I'm in Georgia, right? I haven't really followed Juju, but I'm aware of what's going on, right? And people made comments that this boy had been playing since he was 14, which I heard about for years, right? He's been playing since he was 14 on the varsity and went to the state championship. Think about that. Now, he only played 3 years because he's leaving a year early, basically. But he's been playing up his whole life from what I hear. He's been playing top talent, so he's been to camps. The guy got a lot of relationships. We looked at even what happened with the Hood brothers with some of the boys, like Flapjack was one. We see R.J. Johnson. Now, these boys played together in high school. What happened when you pull a guy like Juju from Carrollton, Carrollton's always been a pretty decent football school in Georgia. It's a higher level school, and they typically do well. They go deep in the playoff and make it to the state. And they about to go there again. They just did it. A big win against Buford, right? And all these boys typically go to big schools. When you look at the Bufords, I think that's where Raiola, I think his little brothers there, they just played against them. Raiola, the one that's in Nebraska, I think he played there. You look at Buford, Grayson. You even look at like Collins Hills, where Travis Hunter was at. Those Gwinnett County, which for y'all don't know, Gwinnett County is probably one of the bigger counties, and it's grown and expanded. It's been like a pioneer land, a expansion area. I'm from DeKalb. We used to run things back in the day. Then a lot of people moved to Gwinnett, and Gwinnett started growing. They started building. It was like bare land, and they put a lot of houses, and the schools are huge because a lot of people moved out there. And it's the place to be. Back in the day, it was DeKalb, and then I think Cobb was kind of running up, but Gwinnett's taking off. So a lot of those big football schools that we know about in Georgia right now is in Gwinnett. Gwinnett is running it when it comes to state championship, stuff like that. But Carrollton just beat one of those big dogs, which is Buford. So Carrollton's on the other side. And a lot of these boys that he's played with while he was younger and against, they starting to say, oh, Juju going to Colorado. I think I want to go there too. I want to play with him. I played against him. I played with him. So we seeing guys from Alabama, and you started seeing that ripple effect, a quality of players saying, I want to go and do this thing with Juju. We did it in high school. I know he the quarterback. So we in the Juju era, guys. We were in the prime. We were in the Shador era. Now we in the Juju era. It's his time. It's his time to build his team. How Shador used to make phone calls and send messages to get people to come. Juju is doing the same thing. Juju is making boss moves at this point. He got players that are transferring to play with him. He got high school guys who played against him or know him that want to come and play with him. They want to grow with him. They want to be with him to get a national championship. I remember when Deshaun Watson came out of high school. He was up in the Gainesville. That was a little north of Gwinnett area back in the day. Of course, he's in the NFL now. And Watson was the guy that everybody talked about like a Juju, even though he didn't have the history Juju had, and he didn't leave a whole year early. But he went to Clemson and every year. I mean, he started every year, so they show you the freshmen can do it. And every year they was a contender, and they got them a national championship with him. I think they got Alabama one of those years. But every year, the Clemson was the thing. That's a lot of people history about Clemson came during that era. Watson came, then Trevor Lawrence came, and he was a young guy that was up in Cartersville, which is in north of Atlanta, where he was the guy that everybody talked about. And he went and was the guy in college, and he's in the NFL. So we have produced these phenoms, these freshman phenoms. So I don't doubt that Juju can do the same thing because we've seen it. And they produce great quarterbacks. They did in high school, and then they turn around and do it at the college level. And then they go pro and do it. And I think Juju's the same. But you notice that the trail of the recruitment and everything went with those guys with their reputation. And that's why Clemson had that run, because they got Watson, then they got Trevor Lawrence right behind them. And those years was Clemson era. They ran that thing. They was in the playoff. They was giving SEC a problem during that era. He couldn't do nothing with them. And that's the only era you really think about it where the ACC was really a threat outside of back in the day when I think Florida State was doing it. And I think Miami was what, the Big East at one point, I believe. So it's like Juju has the ability to be that next quarterback of an era that just have a dominance because of the type of talent he has and the type of people who gonna want to come play with him. And with the portal, that expedites it because people can up and leave Bama, up and leave these big schools that they normally want to go to Colorado, but he out there, so they want to go play with him. So now you might see a draft that Coach Prime has already created just by showing he the guy to get the scouts. So he already done his part. Now you just got to get the type of players that people want to play with. And Shador has laid the foundation of what that would look like, being a leader of a growing brand and getting the NILs. I mean, Juju going to come in basically right at $1 million there his freshman year. That's before he really even get himself out there in this college market. And, you know, by the time he gets to his senior year, of course, money going to be worth different. He should be well over 10, probably going up to 20 by that time. The money probably get ridiculous because there's so many more things that can change. But he's coming in, he's getting the money, and Colorado is a developing market. I hear that they're getting the money to get to the players, and they keep winning. The type of players that they getting, they're going to have a more stout line. Everybody want that big line where you can run the ball. They're going to have an experienced lineman. You see some of these guys on the defensive side from the SEC, more guys from the SEC. They ain't necessarily bench guys. They even got some PT. And you're going to get guys with more experience from more quality programs to be able to jump in and help with that young quarterback. I'm really hoping to see, honestly, I don't know how it's going to affect the room. I want a bigger running back. Amos screwed us over. You know, Amos went down there so he can ride the oak. He probably jumped in the board. I don't know what he did. But he screwed himself and he screwed Colorado because I said we got Hillgreen and him. They gave us this conference championship. I said anybody can go back there all the way back in January, February, whatever that was. And look how close Colorado was. That big running back make all the difference in all those games, that towards the end especially. Like even with Kansas, even some of the games that we won where we couldn't convert on the short downs, the 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Because we couldn't just push forward. It's all not this line, it's that bigger running back that can really lay down. That's what Kansas running back was doing. He was just laying down. He would run over Sim Cran, lay over him. Sim Cran make the tackle. He had to lay over him and get that extra yard or two. We need somebody that can get the tough yards in the tough games. And you don't want a whole bunch of 200-pound running backs. I mean, we have a lot of running backs that are similarly built. And they're young, you know, and they may develop. I mean, I know Welch, he's a stout, but he's a short and stout guy. And so is Hood. Brandon Hood's stout guy, probably with more speed than we had. Hayden, stout, short guy. Styles are different, but they're all around the same weight. Lower 200 pounds, 5'9", like that. We didn't have that 6'2", 230 guy that would have had an Amos that would have just been just what we need. We also need that tight end. And I know we got a couple of them coming in and one coming back. So we should have that tight end. I know, and can't say Prime don't want it because he had it at Jackson State. He always had some good tight ends. He always had a good running game. But that was different coordinators. So I don't know what's going on. You can blame it on Shador. Maybe we will see. Because I surely will hope and know that they're not trying to expect Juju to do what Shador did from a passing standpoint. Because he has to develop. And he has to get comfortable. And that running game is going to be even more critical for him. And having some big bruiser running backs and the big bruising line going to go a long way. And they also having some big bruiser guys. You probably came up a few short on defense this year because we got some players hurt. Carter went out, Buell, whatever happened to him, then he transferred out. And Barnes, he need a lot of work just far as staying low. As big as he is, he could stay low, he would be a problem. He stands straight up. And we need some big guys. And he got some twins coming in that's coming to visit Alabama, as big as he is. So we can get some big guys who just not be high, because who you going to tackle high? You playing patty cake, and people run right by you. You got to stay low. That's what Shador's master. He stayed low, and he clogged holes up. And he just was a bowling ball. He wasn't going to be moved, and he was low. He can slide up under you and get to some tackles. So Colorado going to definitely need some pieces because you got Shane Coates gone, Block Bully gone, Turing gone, Carter, he was hurt, gone, Buell gone. So we're going to need more depth there than anything because it started to show itself on us towards the end of the year when we had put Tyler Brown over there. We'll see if he's going to stay and get some work over there. We're going to need a lot of depth over there because injuries do happen and fatigue do happen, and you want your guys fresh. In this day and time, they got this little sub rule where the refs sit up down and let your guys off the field, let the other team guys off the field. It's like subbing is a thing. So we got a lot of work to do. That Porter is going to be critical because you ain't getting no more high school guys like that right now. So you know where it's coming from. And that's what that means. You got to make room. Make room. We're going to make room for these guys to come in. And you know where we need them at. Definitely in the trenches. And some wide receivers leave. Good for them because they probably weren't playing anyway. We got a lot of young wide receivers coming in. We got some guys returning. We got Cam Michael coming back. That was injured, who's a big-time guy. So we got plenty of receivers. It's probably best you leave if you were second and third tier already. Baby T.O., whatever's going on, is best. Because the depth is going to be there. And as long as the offensive line good to keep that boy up, and we got a strong running back. We got some good running backs return. But we need a big bruiser running back to add to that. And the defensive line and the tight end. And we'll see what the secondary look like. As long as we got that stuff going, I think cornerback's going to be pretty solid. Definitely need some depth there. Injuries do happen there too. But as long as we looking there and getting a kicker, we're going to definitely have to place the we got to replace our punter. He had an all right year this year, but he can kick. And so we got to replace our punter, and we got to find somebody at a whole doggone year to find somebody that can kick the ball deep. That's where we at. So we're a little better off than last year, a little bit off reputation-wise, confidence-wise, but it looks like Coach Prime won a whole nother level of team, even if that means getting rid of a bunch of guys. He know what to expect. He know what you can do. He know what your attitude is. He's not going to try to get blood from a turnip. So if guys leave, just know these are not the guys that he figures going to get him to the next level. Maybe they got him to this level. But that next level he know he want to get to, especially what we seen towards the end with that Kansas, that probably burnt a lot of bridges for some people. We don't know what was going on behind the scenes, but why certain people wasn't playing. But he know. So it's going to be interesting. So let's keep an eye on that. I'm just Greg said it. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll be talking to y'all soon.